back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. Today, going to do a couple of videos. First of which is a roundup of all the potential ins and outs in terms of transfers and loans and players leaving the club. And there will also be a short update on the Celtic women's team, who had their first game of 2024 yesterday at Ayr, and we'll do that in a separate short video. So, as I was saying, some transfer rumours and loan rumours circulating around Celtic at the moment. Still nothing definite on terms of players coming in. Bits of news: the Scott McKenna to Celtic story seems to have died down, which for me is great news, and the great majority of you also thought that the McKenna was a very poor signing for Celtic. Tiago Araujo, the Portuguese left back coming from Estoril. Estoril seem very cool on selling Tiago Araujo at this time, and as most of you will be aware, I don't really rate Tiago Araujo as being an upgrade on Greg Taylor. Tiago Araujo is a very poor defender, doesn't usually play in a flat back four, usually plays left wing back or left midfield, isn't really suited to playing left back in the formation that Celtic play. May well prove to be a much better player in the middle and final third of the pitch, but certainly isn't what Celtic are looking for at left back, in my opinion. And there's also a video with some scouting highlight reels available from a month or so ago for any new subscribers who want to check back on him. Owen Bet coming from Liverpool. I don't think that's a goer in the winter transfer window, as Liverpool have a bit of a crisis at left back for the duration of January and February, but I would be very hopeful Celtic could look to revisit signing Beck in the summer transfer window for a couple of million, and I think he would be a great player for Celtic and become a regular first choice starter. Similarly, no updates or progress on the potential transfer of Matthias Kvistgaarden from Brøndby to Celtic, nor on Lawrence Shankland coming from Hearts to Celtic. It is said that Shankland is keen to move away from Hearts to strengthen his claims to be in the Scotland squad, if not the Scotland team, for the Euro Nations tournament in Germany this summer. But as things stand, no further news. However, there is news which some may see as good and some may see as bad, and some may see as somewhere in between, which is Lecce in Italy in Serie A are looking to bring in Gustav Lagerbielke on a loan to the end of the season. Lecce currently 12th out of 20 in Serie A league, 7 points ahead of the relegation zone, and so seem quite safe in the table. It's said that there seems to be some stumbling blocks in terms of the potential loan from Celtic to Lecce for the period up to June 2024. It's thought that the amount of contribution between Celtic and Lecce for Lagerbielke's wages is the stumbling block. Looking at the reported wages of Lagerbielke being 14,000 per week at Celtic, that would put him 7th in the wages list at Lecce currently, according to Saudi Sport website, and so would actually put Lagerbielke well up the rankings in terms of wage earners at Lecce. Lecce appear to be a fairly low budget Serie A club, however they are as I said earlier on, quite safe in mid-table, without any real threat for relegation or being able to push forward into the European qualifying zones. This would, I think, be a good move for Lagerbielke in the long term, obviously moving from the Scottish Premier League, which is ranked 10th, 11th in terms of European leagues, in terms of quality, skill, etc., up to the third strongest league in Europe in the Serie A. Would obviously, as long as he's playing on a weekly or near weekly basis for Lecce, would be a challenge for Lagerbielke and could well improve him a lot as a player. Good thing about Lecce in terms of a move for a Swedish player is they already have 2 Swedish players within their squad and 3 other Scandinavian players within their squad, and so would actually be an easier way to settle down for Lagerbielke than it has been coming to Celtic from Sweden. I, for one, really hope that Celtic don't get rid of Lagerbielke from the squad. I think he is likely to be a very important member of the squad for the rest of this season and also in the long term. As I said before, I think he's way better than Stephen Welsh. I think he's just as good as Mike Navrocki. I think in the long run he's going to be better than Liam Scales, remembering that he's a good couple of years younger than Liam Scales. And also given the fact that we've got 2 of Rodgers' first choice 4 centre-backs, with CCV being so injury prone this year. Stephen Welsh has had 4 games and 2 spells out through injury this season. I think it would be, risky to leave ourselves with 4 experienced centre-backs. No problem with Yuki Kobayashi going off to back to Japanese football, reportedly to play for Yokohama, where Harry Kuehl has taken over as manager. However, I do think, given CCV's very dodgy injury record this season, the fact that Stephen Welsh seems to be able to get himself injured practically on a Mikey Johnson level, I think it would leave Scales and Navrocki as our only 2 regular fit centre-backs, and I don't think that's a goer for the rest of the season, as there will be quite a lot of fixture congestion getting started after the winter break and leading in towards the final games of the season. However, I would much prefer to see Lagerbielke go off on loan rather than him being transferred, and so one way or the other, I hope that things work out well for Lagerbielke and that we either keep him at the club for the next few years or let him go for a few months and then come back and get into the team on a regular basis next summer onwards. The other news story, which I find rather dumbfounding, is that there are very strong links that Jordan Henderson, the ex-Liverpool and England captain, is rumoured to be coming to Celtic. He apparently is finding it incredibly difficult to settle down in Saudi Arabia. He's playing for Al Ittihad, which is, of course, the club managed by Steven Gerrard in Saudi. They've been on a very poor run of form, 9 games without a win, and Henderson struggling to settle into the country, which I think a lot of other people would say, well, duh, that's so unexpected. And that for a lot of players and people settling into the way of life in Saudi Arabia, or actually settling into the way of life of any country that's new to you, where it's a different culture, language, etc., I think it's incredibly difficult to settle down. And so, not in the least bit unexpected that Henderson has really struggled. He apparently has very close links to Brendan Rodgers, sees Brendan Rodgers as a great confidant and hero, feels that Brendan Rodgers was the key to his successful career, um, and reportedly will take a massive wage cut and pay a massive tax bill to come back to Britain. It does look like actually he's looking to come back to play in the English Premier League rather than Celtic. However, there have been multiple stories and multiple links that Celtic are looking to bring in Jordan Henderson. Um, Not clear if that's a loan or a transfer, remembering that his transfer fee from Liverpool to Al Effetak was £13 million, and so I can't see Celtic paying anything like that to bring him back. Reportedly, Henderson is on £700,000 a week at his Saudi club. And it would need the most massive cut in Henderson's wages for him to get anywhere near Celtic's wage structure. Our highest paid player said to be Callum McGregor on something like £34,000 to £37,000 a week. And so I honestly can't see Henderson coming to Celtic in any way, shape, or form. However, the other clubs said to be linked to um, Henderson coming back to England are Liverpool, Newcastle, and Chelsea. I can't see how he would ever fit into the current Liverpool midfield. There's plenty of players way, way better than that playing for Liverpool at the moment. Liverpool's actually very, very strong in the midfield areas, and I can't see him going to Liverpool. Chelsea, the same. Chelsea do have a heck of a lot of players um, at their club. Can't see him going to Chelsea. Newcastle do have quite a number of injuries and maybe looking to bring in a quality midfielder. However, Henderson is 33. I think his best years are behind him. Um, and so I'd be surprised if he ends up at Newcastle either. Um, Potentially, one could see him going to one of the lower half or relegation battling in EPL clubs. Whether that puts him back into Gareth Southgate's um, vision to get back into the English European squad for the Euro Nations in Germany, which appears to be his main reason for coming back um, to play in the UK. I certainly think that if he's wanting to get into the Euro Nations squad, um, coming to Celtic would be a bad idea because I don't think Gareth Southgate knows where Scotland is. Um, and also remember the last player, to the best of my knowledge, who played for England whilst being at Celtic was Fraser Forster. And before that, a few years before, Alan Thompson, who did have one cap for England as a Celtic player. One other wee bit of news, and I also have to say that when I read his name in several stories being linked to Celtic, I said, who? And so apparently there's a Leeds United player called Joe Gelhardt, who's a 21-year-old. He's being linked to Celtic. Um, Admittedly, he has played for England at various different youth levels. 5'9", 21 years old, as I was saying. However, if you look at his record of goal scoring in first team football, he has 7 in 90 games as a first team player. He's played for Wigan and Sunderland and Leeds. 1 goal for Leeds this season in 8 games. Seems to have dropped down Leeds' pecking order of strikers, and is said to be wanting a move away, either on loan or permanent transfer. I really don't think signing a player who's been at 3 different clubs with 7 goals in 90 first team games, I don't think that is a player Celtic should be looking at. However, we'll be having a wee look at YouTube and the internet for videos, etc. But if anybody does have knowledge of Joe Gelhardt and has seen him on a regular basis playing for any of those three clubs, or knows how he is actually as a player, I would be delighted to see that in the comment section. And similarly, would love to see what your own comments and thoughts are regarding Lagerbielke off to Lecce on loan and bringing in Jordan Henderson um, as a midfielder for Celtic. I honestly can't see Henderson being good enough to get into the current Celtic midfield. I can't see him kicking out McGregor, Bernardo, Hatate, O'Reilly. I don't think it's even a goer. If you remember, we've also got players like Holm, Iawata, theoretically Kwon, David Turnbull if he chooses to sign his contract. I don't see Henderson coming to Celtic as being a good goer. I would be extremely disappointed in Brendan Rodgers and the club if they think that is what we need or it is in any way feasible. So that just about brings us to the end of this wee update video about Celtic. We'll be planning to do videos every day or every couple of days to keep things up to date in terms of players in and out, but things do seem rather quiet at the moment. And also we'll be looking to do some highlight analysis, scouting type videos of any players cropping up in the Celtic radar for scouting or signing. So for today, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. For anybody who hasn't subscribed already, please do consider clicking that subscribe button. Remember, there's also a daily Celtic trivia question for all people who view the channel. And as always, delighted to see any comments, thoughts, opinions regarding Celtic in the comment section. So, goodbye and hail, hail.